Hello, listeners. Welcome to the next episode of the Startup Catalyst. Special guest today is our mentor, Guru Vignesh. He's got a two decades plus industry experience, along with experience of mentoring and advising a lot of startups. It's a privilege to have you on the mentor board at the GRG Gen Next, Guru.
Thank you, Ethan. Pleasure is mine to be here as well.
Thank you. So the mentor panel is a critical service offering from GRG Gen Next. We got like 35 to 40 plus mentors who have experience in respective fields, whether it be tech, legal, finance, marketing, sales. And a lot of our incubatees benefit by setting up one-on-one calls with these mentors based on their requirements. And it's truly transformational. I personally learned a lot from the experience which the mentors bring. So great to have you on board. For the listeners who might not know you much, Guru, why don't you just walk us through your career trajectory and a bit of about your background so that people can know more about you?
Yeah. So this is Guru. I am basically from Coimbatore. Right now, I've shifted my base to Bangalore. So last 18 years, I was doing my business in Coimbatore, primarily into manufacturing of e-commerce products, like home utility products. So over the years, I transitioned. I grew my business organically. I went on to get a couple of national awards. In fact, two consecutive Amazon best-selling awards for my product. So I have lived the entire entrepreneurship life cycle, right from growing, scaling, facing challenges, building teams, cash flows, and then facing a lot of hurdles from government, from outside perspectives, and then finally transitioning into a complete new model wherein I call myself as an autopilot run business. A lot of consultants are talking about autopilot mode, but then I have personally implemented autopilot mode in my business back in 2022, immediately post COVID. And then that's when I transitioned into business coaching, mentoring, consulting, so on and so forth. And this mentoring consulting has been with me since 2016, because a lot of people, my own circle, we discuss about business in large, and I am so like keen to discuss in detail with them. And over the time, I started giving them solutions and advisory services. That's when I identified, okay, look, why can't I put in my efforts into this niche, because something which I really love. See, this is a great thing which I want to tell all the listeners here. Entrepreneurship is all about evolving. It's not that you have to follow one dream. Everybody's got multiple dreams, but then you have to identify when you have to enter a dream and when you have to exit your previous dream, and you can't do everything in tandem, and it becomes a big mess. So right now in Bangalore, I'm focusing more on startups, and my core offering is startup diagnostics, because a lot of founders, after raising capital, they don't know how to scale their businesses substantially. They have a lot of governance issues. That's why I come in. I play a very big pivotal role there, helping them set systems, processes, and then make sure that their system is stable to execute on a bigger level.
Got it, got it. That's a quite rich background that you have. Maybe you can just start with the ecosystem, right? So, what do you see in the startup ecosystem today? If a young founder is planning to start his own startup, and he's totally open to domains or areas in which to start his startup, what would you recommend? A few initial key steps would be interesting to hear from you.
Key steps would be primarily being an entrepreneur myself. I just believed in my guts and my instincts. I wanted to become an entrepreneur, an industrial entrepreneur to be very precise, since I come from the industrial town of Coimbatore. So I started, like producing products which are widely used by women. The initial days were quite tough because we never had AI or any technology advantage those years. But now the startup founders are in a pretty much a very maze game sort of a situation, because they have so many opportunities and they want to chase every opportunity. So my single advice would be to listen to your like your personal ambitions, your goals, your vision. Try to formulate a strategy around it, okay, so that you are, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, you're very strong in your domain. So domain experience is one thing which I would really vouch. Second thing is something which you're interested in. So interest and expertise are totally two different spectrums. So you need to really find out, like a simple, I would say, a common point where it will merge together, so that as a startup founder, you have a scalable business ahead of you. So
Got
I
it.
believe, see, I have coached a lot of founders from different verticals. So my suggestion is, don't go for tech, or don't go for SaaS, don't go for deep tech, space tech, fintech. It could even be a small, a tea shop. You could start your business from there. Okay, and gradually you can grow your business as a bigger, like scalable, I would say, what is the right word? Yes, it is a good business, like something like a corporate structure, because like today I see a lot of founders raising capitals coming from the even a tea shop, rather than a founder coming from a deep tech. So the reason is it's not about technology, it's all about whether you have enough potential to reinvent that particular model. So if you have that urge, please dive into it. And entrepreneurship is super beautiful experience. You live the entire life into an entrepreneurship phase, okay? Because you face a lot of challenges every day, you see a lot of new situations, and entrepreneurship gives you that urge to learn, because learning is something entrepreneurs are completely into it 24/7. So yes, that's the point from me. Do what your heart says.
Hmm. Uh, would you differentiate between startup and business? Because the idea that you're suggesting of starting a tea shop sounds more like a business rather than being a startup. Do you think that's the need of the hour in the industry today? That you
And
want students to just start a business and not look at innovative ideas around the kind of deep tech and all that we discuss, right?
yeah, Hetal, see, I will be very clear, okay, because a lot of founders, they get into this vicious circle thinking like it's only a deep tech, a SaaS, or a space tech is going to get them this founding, the funding rounds. My personal experience is investors are looking for the depth, okay, they're looking for the experience which an entrepreneur brings in, whether he has got some lived background on what he is really talking about. See, we can generate ideas. We are in the age of AI. Developing an idea is just a minute away. But do you have the execution capability? So if you can start something on a very minuscule level and prove your metal there, probably once you have a bigger idea, you can start immediately evolving into a newer concept. Because that's how I started my business. I bootstrapped my business. When I started my business back in 2010, I literally didn't know where to start, where to end, because being an MBA graduate from UK, I thought just an MBA degree is going to take me miles ahead, but then definitely not. It's all about perseverance, hard work, resistance, resilience, like a lot of, problems which you have to face on a daily basis. So now I have a lot of opportunities to start a business myself, but then why I'm not doing it is because, like I've lived that entire, life cycle of being an entrepreneur. So I've had enough of that and I wanted to evolve into a newer being. So to answer your question, Ethel, yes, a lot of people get into this vicious circle thinking like it's only a deep tech or a SaaS or a science tech would get them into a long term, like growth. But then to start even a tea shop, you need a lot of, governance, you need a lot of strategy, you need a lot of people pulling aspects. Your marketing channel has to be very strong. A lot of founders come and talk about GTM, they talk about MVP, but they don't understand what a GTM even in a tea shop is. So my suggestion is you start in a very lean mode. Okay, age is ahead of you. You started in a very lean mode. 6 months, 1 year, you try it out. Once you get a flare of entrepreneurship, and once you have felt what entrepreneurship, the challenges you're going to face, I would say you go to a bigger level and you approach founders. I mean, co-founders or even investors.
Hmm. When I mentioned trends, what are the key trends that are prevalent in the market today, which could give hint to a startup founder on what he or she could be starting in?
Trends would be, yes, gone are the days when a startup thinks that raising a capital is the biggest motive or the biggest vision of his company. Today there are a lot of ecosystem partners, a lot of government initiatives to give funding, but then what they really lack is the depth, as I told you, the execution capability. So I would say, like, if you have an idea in place, and if you're a early stage startup, let's say that you're just rolling out from the college, reach out to people around you, your seniors, your own friends who has got that entrepreneurship flair. Have an idea. Let's see that whether you can have a team in place, a CXO, like a CEO or a CFO or a COO. Try to build a team amongst yourself. Try to build a small product. See whether there is a market for that product, and then start going to the bigger level. So the trends is everything which you touch is going to be very successful, because in entrepreneurship life cycle, lifespan, I would say everything under the sun is a great opportunity. So trends, I would say everything is a trend. It all depends whether you could really bring in a change in what is happening now. It's not that you have to start something new. A lot of businesses, even today, 30, 40-year-old businesses, they don't have how to, they don't know the technical know-hows to, bring out a better project or a better prospect of what a client wants. You can play a role there, right? You can just start piggybacking somebody else's success story. From there, you can start and you can elevate it to a newer dimension. So trends, yes, everything under the sun is a trend. We all humans, and we are here in a big country like India where people are in big demand for, like new products, new ideas, new services. So just go for it, guys.
Hmm. What has been your personal experience as far as mentoring startups is concerned? What's the kind of startup that you mentored? If you could share some examples, that would be great.
See, most of the startups which I mentor is in the range of 50 lakhs to 5 crores.
Hmm.
Early stage startups or probably pre-funded startups. Recently, I had an interaction with a startup in Madurai. So
Hmm.
they have raised around 5 crores, but then they didn't know how to deploy the capital because before raising capital, their pitch decks is something, but post capital, the way they actually deploy capital is something very very, I would say very irritating to be very true because like I recommended a couple of startups with founders, I mean, with investors. And then just because of our interaction, just because of our clarity, which we give to the investors are also blindfolded and they invest. But then the point is, when a fund comes in, right, the founder loses his vision. Okay, he is not sticking to his basics. So I would say, please put everything in a piece of paper, follow that with due diligence. Okay, do not take any shortcuts. Make sure that like you don't stop your business with just angel investments. You need to go for a lot of series of investments. So that happens only when you deploy capital in the right context as the way you have actually projected it to be. Nine
Hmm.
out of 10 startups, Hethel, what I see is they don't know how to use capital. They don't know what cash flow is. They think cash flow is just coming, I mean, cash coming in from an investor. They don't know how to actually, like get it rotated into a multiple mode and then give it back to the investors because investors come with a clear cut exit strategy. 2 years, 3 years, they want to go back, they want to exit with some profits or with some proper equity. But 9 out of 10 starts, why they fail is it's nothing to do with any sectors. I'm being very honest here. It's all
Hmm.
about the mindset of the startup founders. They're losing their motive somewhere. I don't know what's going on. So to be a startup, I think you need to be very very clear with your objectives. Have a very clear cut strategy. Where is that you want to take your business? Where is that you want to take your personal life? Please
Hmm.
have a differentiating here. And then probably I think that is the clearest mindset. Apart from that, yes, revenue earning is one thing which a lot of startups come for, but then revenue earning is all about market penetration, understanding the clients, the sort of service which you give to the clients. And they think MVP is more than enough. I have seen a lot of startups not going beyond MVP.
Hmm.
And they think like it is, like a long term affair. MVP, I'll tell you guys, MVP is something which you actually play the game for a really limited period of time. Then you have to evolve.
Hmm.
So the basic point which I want to share is start evolving right from day one. Have a clear
Hmm.
cut strategy, have a clear cut plan, and have a team because team is where you have an interaction with the fellow members. You don't go wrong anywhere. You don't do any haywire aspects, and there are a lot of challenges for you as a team as well. So that is one where I could really support. Teams are not just friends, but then professionals. So look at your friend as a professional. See whether he could bring in a leverage 2 years down the line. Yeah, so you have to do a lot of groundwork and homework regarding this and get into an equation.
Hmm. Can you share some examples of some of the startup that you mentored and what stage did they approach you? What kind of help did you provide them, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, see, there was a startup from Chennai. They are into launching satellites. Okay, the problem which they faced is already the initial funding is given by the government of Tamil Nadu, right?
Hmm.
So they are not able to approach any more investors. So that is a big bottleneck there. So my understanding is do not hurry with investors. Be very conscious about your decision with whom you are going to sign up.
Hmm.
Investors are like your marriage partners.
Hmm.
Okay, they might win the game or they might end up losing the game. In this case, this particular startup, they were not able to raise, like so-called additional support in terms of capital. So my advice was them to this. I said like you have to come out of your comfort zone, give more of what you hold in your company. Your holding has to come down, and probably you have to. That's how you have to increase your, like stakeholding capacity for other people who can invest.
Hmm.
My single example here is when you're talking about investments, do not jump into numbers. Okay, number games is a very, very tricky situation because the ones which you actually give initially might seem to be very costly later.
Hmm.
So that was one example. Second example is here in Bangalore. They are a group of students from IIT. So they have a great idea where they wanted to bring in, farm crop. like farm technology through
Hmm.
satellites. Again, it's a satellite based business.
Hmm.
Through satellites, they can identify which soil needs water. Okay, because there are different soil textures across India. So which soil and for which cultivation water has to be provided on a regular basis.
Hmm.
And they buy water in bulk quantity, but then they think just watering the plants is going to give them business, literally not knowing when it has to be watered. So this particular satellite, it does an AI sort of an analysis,
Hmm.
understands the crop culture, okay, the climate and the demand for that particular crop, and accordingly it gives us the right time and the right quantity of water to be given. So
Hmm.
that is one thing which is in the second stage. They are about to raise capital by around $5 million from Israel-based venture capitalist.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. Got it. Makes sense. You recently shifted from Coimbatore to Bangalore. So, would you want to make a comparison between the advantages and disadvantages for a startup starting in a small city, tier two city like Coimbatore or a major metro like Bangalore? And where do you see the balance likely going into?
Okay, see, in India 2026, I would say every geography is going to be fulfilling, because when I started my business in 2010, I was in a tier two city, Coimbatore. Still, we were able to, like break it even. We were able to generate crores of revenue within first 7 years. And then we were able to witness GST, demonetization, then COVID. Still, we were able to survive because I'm a manufacturer. So if you want to look into businesses which has a manufacturing advantage, Coimbatore is a city which you have to focus on. If you want to look at a place where you want to leverage your ideas, where you want to build a team, where you want to grow from scratch as a team, Bangalore would be an ecosystem, because the mindset of the startup founders here are very forward thinking rather than Coimbatore, because Coimbatore is more of a conservative market, not much been exposed to, like founder centric engagements, discussions. They just are very conscious about what they share with the co-founders. Here it is more open-ended, and I see in Bangalore the ecosystem will give you that leverage if you can go out of your comfort zone, reach out to them. Networking by and large here in Bangalore is not just exchanging cards, but then understanding what that person has lived,
Hmm.
trying to understand that experience and putting that into practice here. I think that is where that Bangalore leverage would play a big role in the initial days of your startup. In
Hmm.
fact, last couple of weeks back, I interacted with a lot of founders from Tamil Nadu settled in Bangalore,
Hmm.
and the primary reason is just to go around and share their visiting cards and the pitch decks and try to raise the capital. See, guys, let's be very honest. Bangalore is not the only place where you have to go for funding. Funding sitting in Coimbatore, you can raise your funding. How do
Hmm.
you leverage your ideas? How do you put it into one piece? Okay, because investors don't want to go through 15, 16, 20 pages of pitch decks. It has to be one page. But do you have experience to talk about that pitch deck for 2 hours? That's
Hmm.
where your leverage lies in. That's where your
Hmm.
experience of your research lies in, right? So
Yeah.
here in Bangalore, the founders have already, the investors have already burnt their fingers. So they don't do any random investments. I'll be very honest. They don't do any random investments like in Tamil Nadu, tier two, tier three towns, because a lot of people have money. They want to get into, like investments, because that's say they see it as a business. So if
Hmm.
you want to really get into the game, please be very conscious about the ecosystem where you want to play. I would say please come and explore here in Bangalore. But then if your business is all about manufacturing, engineering, I think Coimbatore is the right place.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. Got it. And for people who are in Coimbatore versus people who are in Bangalore, what's been the difference that you've seen among the founders? How do you compare a Coimbatore founder with a Bangalore founder?
Okay, Coimbatore founder, they have not tested. Okay, they are still not tested, so they are still raw.
Okay.
Bangalore, yes, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, if you go on Church Street, they are a founder, a potential founder.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like a lot of founders in Bangalore call themselves as founders, but then they don't even move 1 inch forward. I'm not being rude here, but then
Uh-huh.
see, just calling yourself as an founder doesn't really give you a guarantee of success immediately, right? It's
Right.
all about the concept which you have, the market which you have created, the
Mm-hmm.
basic experience which you have given to a small ICP, an ideal customer profile.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing which I see in Coimbatore and Bangalore is Coimbatore is still not tested. Okay, it's still I would say underutilized, and I've been seeing a lot of investors from Coimbatore coming to Bangalore and investing in startups here.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that you're creating that opportunity for them to come here? I would say knock the opportunity there. Use an ecosystem partner like GRG Gen Next. Use their
Mm-hmm.
expertise. Use their mentors. their support mechanisms, and see whether you could leverage it there in your geography.
Mm-hmm.
Because your initial days, right, the traction which you lose in time, effort, and money is going to be very costly if later on. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say initially, please try it out in your geography, get some sort of positive feedbacks, build on your own, and then you come and explore in Bangalore. But I'm not saying don't come to Bangalore.
Hmm.
Okay, it's like a very tough proposition. You have to keep, like juggling between Bangalore, Coimbatore. I'm just taking Coimbatore, Bangalore for an example. Okay, if you're
Yeah.
in, let's say, Madurai, from Madurai to Bangalore, because 90% of startups, investors, founding, I mean, that particular funding round happens in Bangalore. So that's why people come to Bangalore,
Hmm.
right? But research says in the next 5 years it's going to come down drastically, and this particular gets distributed across India. So you will have access to investors in India across all geographies.
Hmm. Got
I
it.
think Hetal, you might better understand this. What is your take in this?
So I think the number one factor that I've noticed is that people in Coimbatore, especially founders, are extremely conservative. They know 10 things, but they will share only one. Bangalore is actually opposite. They know one thing, but they will talk 10, right? So the whole
True.
flaunt, talkability, uh, creating that pitch or creating that FOMO in the mind of the investor. Entrepreneurs in Bangalore are able to do it much better than in Coimbatore. Technically more grounded, technically more sound are people in Coimbatore, but practical use case, application based knowledge, Bangalore is far better. I think Bangalore founders utilize their ecosystem far better than what founders in Coimbatore do. They will quickly go and meet a couple of college kids and get some ideas. They'll go and meet some investors and get some inputs. Whereas the founder in Coimbatore still takes his own sweet time to take these very essential baby steps. The other aspect which I've seen is in terms of price point. So, from a scale perspective, founders in Bangalore are able to visualize the scale much better than what founders in Coimbatore are able to do. Um, that's been the analysis I've done. In fact, while you threw the ball at me, I was thinking of doing a quick, short lightning round and asking you. So you have to answer either Bangalore or Coimbatore. Okay. Um, Better resources for investors,
Bangalore,
better resources for talent,
Coimbatore,
cheaper talent,
Coimbatore,
better incubator space.
Bangalore.
You're talking to GRG Gen X, which is in Coimbatore, Guru. You're
See, I'm
supposed
not
to pick,
talking
right?
about,
You're supposed
of
to
course,
pick
yes, see,
Coimbatore. That was a trick question.
of course, yes, see, Coimbatore, see, because see, I am still from Coimbatore, okay, my heart and soul is still with Coimbatore. But then ground reality is
Yeah,
every road in Bangalore has got an ecosystem, like a partner there.
yeah,
So as you rightly said, the
hmm,
the situation here is more fulfilling.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just narrate my own experience. Being a 17, 18-year-old manufacturer,
Okay.
when I closed my business, in the sense when I scaled down my business, I wanted to leverage my experience. I started identifying businesses in Coimbatore,
Hmm,
precisely manufacturing, where I could be part of the leadership team. Let's say
yeah.
that there is a big factory in Coimbatore where the business founder is a elderly gentleman,
Hmm,
right? And this legal heir is settled in US or UK, so on, okay? And they don't have that urge to continue the business. So that's where I thought, okay, let me position myself there, okay? I don't need to invest money, but I invest my experience, my governance, my systems, my practices. But then in Coimbatore, I'll be very honest, Ethel, they were not willing to even listen to me. In Bangalore, when I reached out to a few manufacturers, they are asking me to come down to their factory. Let's just have a trial discussion. You come to our place. See, that sort of clarity, that sort of maturity is existing in Bangalore because they have seen that people coordinate, people come together for a win-win.
hmm,
In Coimbatore, they're still not aware of that.
hmm,
As you rightly pointed out of 10 ideas, they want to only share two. But here, if it's 10, they brainstorm and they develop another 10 more.
hmm.
So giving that particular perspective, I feel Bangalore is a better ecosystem. But then, yes, support mechanisms, Coimbatore is not lacking, big and gentlemen.
Hmm.
It's all the same, yes.
Opportunities for conducting pilots.
It again depends on the level of pilots. I would say if it's a manufacturing or an engineering product, you can do your initial pilot in Coimbatore, test it there. and then come and do probably a level 2, level 3 pilot in Bangalore to just get a better clarity on whether your pilot is sustainable, whether it could go to the next level. So, to answer your question again, what I would say is have two levels of pilot. Do not just go with your gut beliefs. Have
Hmm.
some real term experiences from
Hmm.
different geographies.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. Uh, Having access to branding and marketing agencies, Bangalore or Coimbatore, which is
I
better?
would say, I would say Coimbatore. I still get a lot of calls from Coimbatore based, digital marketing companies.
Right.
Because like that is how the business is. It's nothing to say that Bangalore doesn't have, but then that's how this positioning has happened in India. Okay,
Hmm.
this particular level of like advisory services or solutions is being offered in a tier 2, tier 3 town, because that's where the manpower advantage is there. Because Bangalore is more of an entrepreneurial ecosystem where it's not about trying or testing; it's all about implementing.
Hmm.
So just to give you a better narrative,
Yeah.
yes, trial testing you can do in a city like Coimbatore, and implementation you can still have pilots of implementation in Bangalore.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. Now let me try another different category of questions. Different technology startups. Are they better off starting in Bangalore or in Coimbatore? Food tech,
There are a lot of food lovers in both the cities, so I would say yes, it's evenly balanced.
fintech,
Yes, I would say Bangalore because being the economic capital of this particular state of the Karnataka, I think yes, Bangalore has got a better lead here.
edtech,
Coimbatore,
agritech,
Coimbatore.
hmm. Space tech,
Yes, I would say more with Bangalore because you have a lot of research labs, you have a lot of proven startups here, which has leveraged, which has scaled beyond $1 billion valuation.
hmm.
So it all depends. Again, if you're creating a new concept, I would say yes, Coimbatore is a new domain where you can really figure it out. But
Hmm.
if it's something which is really existing, right? If you're just trying to reinvent that particular wheel, I think Bangalore would be the better choice
Hmm.
for space tech.
Hmm. Last one, online e-commerce.
I think Coimbatore, because Coimbatore has got this geographical advantage to ship consignments across India.
Hmm.
And being an entrepreneur with around 5 years of e-commerce experience, I was able to get Amazon bestseller awards because of a lot of reasons:
Hmm.
consistency,
Hmm.
then quality, on-time delivery, a lot of these things. And this all happened because of being in Coimbatore, manufacturing
Hmm.
in Coimbatore, and I was able to supply to multiple hubs of India.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think Coimbatore would be a better leverage because e-commerce, if you're a trader, yes, probably Bangalore would be a good choice. But if you're a manufacturer and if you want to be a D2C brand, I would say you go for Coimbatore.
Very interesting. Well, I think that's a good summary of difference between a tier two city in Coimbatore and a tier one city in Bangalore. The reason I brought up these lightning round questions is because a lot of times, especially founders from Coimbatore, are really not sure that they are at an advantage or at a disadvantage. Sitting here in Coimbatore, they get a mixed picture. Only when they get to Bangalore, it becomes very clear that, oh, this I could have done in Coimbatore, this I could not have done in Coimbatore, and so on and so forth. But if a lot of legwork can already be done in Coimbatore, I think the founder is better placed because he can cut out on the cost in the initial stages, which is the struggle phase for the entrepreneur. And once the product has reached a sense of maturity, once he's got the PMF, once he's vetted out the product with a few key customers, whether it's B2C or it's B2B, once he's very clear that he's got certain subtle advantages as far as his product offering is concerned, then he can make a very confident landing in Bangalore, meet with the VCs, meet with the ecosystem partners, meet with the alliance partners, make a very strong pitch where he cannot be taken for a ride because now he has a very sound understanding of his product and what the services or solution that his product is offering. And then the world is his. If he moves in very naive early stage into Bangalore, first the cost will kill him. I mean, yeah, I agree that you say incubators are better in Bangalore, but they're far more expensive as well. The largeness of the city kind of overwhelms you, right? Going from Kormangala to Whitefield, he will probably exhaust the whole day for a 1 hour meeting. Whereas in Coimbatore, in the same one day, he can probably have 5 meetings with 5 different people and learn a lot, right? So I think that's the reason I wanted to bring it up. In terms of evaluation for investment, what are 3 or 4 key parameters that you focus on when you decide to consider a startup for investments?
One thing, as I rightly pointed out, would be the depth of the team or the founder's experience or expertise, whether he's really lived that particular thing.
Okay.
If he's still in the initial ideation stage, yes, that is not possible. The second thing would be, of course, every founder needs to be a marketer, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
where most of our founders go haywire. They are technically strong, but then they don't have this people interaction. They don't understand the cost economics, I mean, the unit economics. They don't know what the GTM is. And just randomly thinking, understanding all these terminologies is really going to win the game. Definitely not, because you can put it in a piece of paper, but then implementation is where you're going to struggle. So yes, the third thing would be the execution capability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I initially in the first part of our conversation I was telling, if you want to be a founder, don't put all you have in one particular bucket. Okay, please
Mm-hmm.
explore what you have to offer. What is that you are? Okay, because you think something who you are, but then in reality you are a different person. You put it in a small tea shop. Understand what is this business all about? How do you capture clients? How do you become a regular tea selling shop? Something like that. See, how do you give a quality service? Understand what is your strength, and then try to balance it, and then go to a next level. See, it's something like you go to the nets, practice overnight, and then the next day you go to the stadium and hit sixes or fours. You can't just get into the stadium and just because you have a great bat and you look great, your physique is very strong. You can't just go and say that I am a very good hitter like Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Look at MSD; he does his homework very perfectly well. So that's why I had to tell you, like, try yourself, okay? Try yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
how you mirror yourself in front of a mirror every day, you please put yourself in a small business setup. See whether you could be part of this, like daily challenges, daily firefighting things, because that's when you understand, okay, this is not my cup of tea. Rather than investing 1 crore and then taking a U-turn, why don't you do it on a very minimal scale and then save your money, save your respect, your reputation, and you don't actually in future time frame you don't question your integrity, right? That you took a
Mm-hmm.
wrong step.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to actually put that in one small experience. Start in a small way. Yes, growing is always possible.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it.
Setal, when I started my business, I wanted to set up a factory in Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then because the initial ICP, right, the ideal customer profile came in from Bangalore. So if I had to take a wrong route and settled here in Bangalore and started my factory here, of course I would have been successful, but then I wouldn't have earned what I earned earlier, the net profits. Here, the ecosystem will support you for purchasing, not for producing. So my capacity as a manufacturer was to be very strong in manufacturing. It's all about economics of scale. So even a tea shop would teach you what is economics of scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you start in those levels, you can understand whether your idea, if you put it in a piece of paper, it is really implemented. So yes, so startup founders depth, the team's capability, channeling capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing would be your marketing strategy. How well are you going to differentiate yourself? One other example which I would like to say is, I got Amazon bestseller award when I used to go and display my products. In the sense, I used to be the model for the products, and I am the only male model in entire India to stand beside a clothing stand. Okay, in India, to stand beside a clothing stand widely used by women audience. So that all requires a lot of guts, lot of conviction, and lot of like understanding on what the product is. Who are the end users? It's the women. But then even men can dry clothes because immediately post COVID, right? People were living in apartments. So it doesn't matter whether you are a man or a woman. Everybody has to do household chores, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even drying a clothes became a big practice for men. And then, like it was a great success for me. And Hetal, the 2 consecutive Amazon bestseller awards happened immediately after COVID.
Got it. Very interesting. That makes sense. The other thing which was coming to my mind was, of course, I was emphasizing and reiterating Bangalore when it came to a tier one city. What if I replace Bangalore with Chennai? Does your answers for the first part of questions still remain true? Is Chennai also has similar advantages as Bangalore, or do you think Chennai is a different world altogether?
Chennai is a different world altogether because there's large scale manufacturing enterprises there, like shipbuilding. I mean, like coach building. We have this ICF, all those stuff. Bangalore has their own niche.
Hmm.
So it all depends on the portfolio, the sector which you're looking at.
Hmm.
Certain sectors at certain geographies might have immediate traction. So you
Hmm.
need to do your homework here. It's not whether you have to be in Bangalore or Chennai. It's all depending on the customer base and where is that you can create that product for the customer base,
Hmm. Hmm.
product or a service. So I would say early stages, I would say please work it out as per your own strengths. Okay, don't go outside your comfort zone, as you rightly pointed out. Traveling in Bangalore is a big decision, okay? Because
Hmm.
a lot of founders don't want to travel because all they can do is only meet one person. In
Yeah.
Coimbatore, it is five. In Chennai, it could be even three. So it all depends on your, requirements and your capability and capacity. What is that you have to offer?
Hmm.
So I think Chennai, Bangalore is evenly poised as of now.
Okay.
I don't see much of change because
Hmm.
Chennai is equally, catching up. In terms of funding, probably Bangalore leads the way, but then in terms of ideation, in terms of growth, Chennai is also equally competent as Bangalore.
Hmm. Hmm. Got it. Got it. Got it. Makes sense. I'm a big fan of failures, and as you would agree, you learn more from failure than from successes. Um, Mistakes are something which we would rather not make, but knowing about the mistakes makes us much more mature and much more wise. What are the mistakes that founders often make, which you advise them not to in the initial stages of your interactions?
I would say don't chase every dream, don't chase every opportunity. Yeah, put it in a piece of paper, see which opportunity, which dream has got a better market, has got a scalable market.
Mm-hmm.
Be very, very wise in that particular decision, okay? And try to play with numbers. A lot of founders are not good with numbers. I don't know why, but they're good in numbers when they do the pitch deck. Okay, immediately post pitch deck, the numbers go haywire. They don't know how to track the numbers. So
Mm-hmm.
a tracking system has to be in place. A lot of talks are going in the world saying like systems, practices, processes, all only for established businesses. Definitely not. It even starts from the ideation stage, because the
Mm-hmm.
moment you start tracking numbers, it will not lead you in the wrong direction, right?
Hmm.
Direction becomes very specific, more strong, more intensive.
Yeah.
And once it becomes intensive, you put your 100% heart and soul.
Hmm.
And of course, the results are very clear, right?
Yeah.
So do not chase every dream or do not chase every ambition.
Hmm.
Okay, you can list it down. Try to see which is going to be more adaptable. Do a
Hmm.
immediate smart analysis and then start doing it.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Sounds good, Guru. I think I'm done with my set of questions. Been a great experience interacting with you, getting to know you better. A lot of rich expertise and experience you bring in, not just as a mentor, but more importantly, as a startup entrepreneur yourself. Having migrated from Coimbatore to Bangalore, you have a good purview on two large cities, which are quite thriving hubs for entrepreneurship, especially in South India. And lastly, my favorite topic is books. So, any interesting books that you read, which you recommend to founders and entrepreneurs?
Okay, well, listeners, I don't want to let you all down because, like I'm not a very avid book reader, because I have lived all my experiences in factory floors, interacting with customers, generating invoices, cash flows, problems, teams. So I have been experiencing this. But then one thing which I would really like to tell is there are three things every founder should really experience. If not through books, through podcasts, through reading, through observing, to talking with people 10 years ahead of you. In sense, let's say that you are in one industry, that's what your chosen industry. Try to go behind some founder who's got 10 years of experience. Try to go understand what he's lived. His lived experience becomes your learned, what to say, growth. Okay, you can implement what has to be done, what not has to be done. Third is try to interact with a lot of customers, because you need to know what customers want. You can't just blindly create something and ask them to buy. It's better that you know what they want and create something. Third thing is keep evolving. Do not stop anywhere. Entrepreneurship is all about evolving. Entrepreneurship is all about solving problems. You should have that acumen in you that you are here to fight it out. Do not take immediate risk. Do not take immediate U-turns. Play with numbers. When you play with numbers, numbers will not give you a wrong interpretation. Numbers will give you the right interpretation. Numbers will take you in the right direction, right destination, and it will really be the best possible tool which you can really play with. Founders, please play with numbers. Numbers in the sense, You should know where you're targeting, what you're targeting, how you want to target, when you want to target, which you want to target. This all comes together in form of unit economics. You know what has to be done. Every product, every service which you give has to register a profit. Only then you become an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who has to also register profits. Yes, of course, we are all risk-taking appetite professionals, but then we can't just blindly say, just hit out our chest and say that we are risk-taking appetite people. No, no, it doesn't end there. Who are we? It's all about creating values. Values for us. Values for us in, like building our family, our lifestyle. So it all depends with the numbers. So numbers will really be the best, I would say, the companions for entrepreneurs. So just to name few books, yes, I have made a note of it. I usually talk about this Atomic Habits.
Oh
I have
yeah.
not read that myself. I have not read that myself. Let me be very honest because I don't want you to ask me a question here, Etha. I've seen a lot of people talking about this book,
Ah,
Atomic Habits. Another thing is Good to Great.
ah.
Yeah, that is a transformational shift which you have in your mind. Good to great is where you don't settle down for anything. You start keeping yourself very busy to understand the market and evolve into a newer person. So, evaluation is part of entrepreneurship. So, do not stop anywhere. And one thing which I want to conclude is do not accept defeat. Okay, guys, do not accept defeat. Fight it out. So everybody tells make hay when the sun shines. An entrepreneur's statement should be make hay even when the sun does not shine. What do you do? Right? So
That's true.
that's where the entire picture is.
Got it. Got it. Hey, thanks a lot, Guru. It was a pleasure having you on board, and hope to collaborate with you on many more successes at GRG next.
Of course, Ethel, I'll come and visit you in my next visit in Coimbatore. Yeah. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation.